Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today for our 20th episode of STEM activities at home or in the classroom. We have a great show for you today, and we're going to be focusing on St. Patrick's Day activities, having some fun courtesy of your favorite presenter, Josh, who will be eventually with us on the screen. Now I'm going to pass it over to Josh. Take it away.
Hey. Hi, I'm Josh and I'm here today to do some fun things with Nasco Education. There we go, Nasco Education. If you like the fun things you see on this live stream and many others like it, please sign up at these social media links. There we go. Nasco does this a lot. We're on this every week with Nasco, as many other fine people are as well. So please follow them at the Nasco Education links that Pete keeps throwing up. Pete's over there. There's Pete to the side of me. There you go. If you want to talk to Jordan more in person, because he's a cool. Thanks, Pete. That's why Pete's handling all this. Pete, oh, it's Wednesday. It's been a long week already for everybody here. But you can email Jordan at that email address. Jordan's going to have more information up there. If you have comments or questions as well, you can throw them in the comment window, little chat box that pops up on your screen there. And Jordan can answer those questions during this conversation, as well as give you helpful links to templates and other things that we show on today's live stream. So we do a lot of fun paper circuit stuff at our office and with our fun products. So we like to just add fun lights and motors and motion and cool hands-on stuff to paper crafts, because paper crafts are really easy to implement in the classroom or distance learning wise, because you just need a pair of scissors. Hey Pete, do you have a graphic that shows scissors?
We have such a graphic.
Oh, Pete was showing off graphics. He always makes fun graphics, and I get surprised with them. There, look, scissors. It's what you need to make a lot of these things.
Might need those. Cut your hair.
I need to cut my hair. I have COVID hair, which is just when your hair gets really long because you don't get a haircut. But yes, these things work very well for distance learning. Like the stuff we're doing today here for St. Patrick's Day, very simple to do distance learning wise with students ages 10 and up, really 4th grade up through high school. These things level very well. We have lesson plans, directions, templates, guides, video guides, all that fun jazz to make life easy for you, the educator, to implement remotely over a video screen, because that's super easy to do for everybody, he says sarcastically. So we're going to switch to the overhead camera. Overhead, yay. We're going to show off one of our favorite projects, St. Patrick Stewart, because it is St. Patrick's Day and our favorite Patrick is Patrick Stewart. So we made this wonderful card to celebrate that. This was something we made, was it a year ago, Pete?
Yeah.
I think this might have been Pete's first project he made here at Brown Dog Gadgets.
Oh, it's my first guide.
It's the first guide he made. He did a really nice job, and since then the quality has only gone down.
I've got 100 guides now.
He's actually written 100 guides. It's true. Like he makes a lot of fun guides. We like Patrick Stewart. It's kind of nerdy. I mean, it's St. Patrick's Day. Besides leprechauns, shamrocks, and other green things, I suppose.
Shamrock shakes, right?
Shamrock shakes. Yeah. That's the fun one. It's just kind of a silly day when it comes to American versions of Irish holidays. So doing a silly thing, St. Patrick Stewart, we thought would be fun. This is a pretty simple paper craft. We've done a couple different versions of this up as templates, but it's a pretty straightforward, very easy paper circuits activity that can also be translated well into other formats. So say, for instance, you don't like Patrick Stewart, you're more of a James T. Kirk kind of person. You like your Shatner captains, or you want to go, Captain Sisko from DS9, yeah. Avery Brooks, everyone's favorite space station captain, I suppose. You could do something different, but you can use the basic template we put together here, just change the front. It's nice about paper circuits, especially for children who, after they do a project to do with this stuff, they can just do their own thing, design their own thing based on their experiences, put things together, make their own unique piece of arts and crafts. So we're gonna put this together here in a moment. We also thought we'd show you a few other fun activities we put together over the years that go with St. Patrick's Day, none of them as fancy as St. Patrick Stewart, but equally as fun. Well, first and foremost, I was gonna say this guy's right here. This is one of our robot buddies. Our robot buddies are just a 3-dimensional paper doll template we put together. We've got a bunch of different versions of it. Here's a jester, same thing. You can add vibrating, throwing it around. You can add vibrating motors. This one has LEDs, and we have a bunch of different templates as well to cut out faces and whatnot, basically dress up like, again, paper doll. They're pretty easy to put together, and the whole point of this was to be easy to cut out and easy to fold, as well as add electronics to it. We've done a nice little paper pull tab on the back too to turn it on and off. Typically, this one's been glued shut because we use this a lot for events. But you can use one piece of tape to hold this entire thing together once you've assembled all your electronics on the inside. This is a pretty easy one to do. We have like some other ones too somewhere, leprechauns. Hey, about this, let's show the fun one.
Uses our split switch.
Our split switch. Is that what we're calling it? Split
I
switch?
don't know.
So it's a little
Sure.
tough on the consonants. Got a BB-8 here as well that blinks, but that's probably way more up the alley of many children than this leprechaun with a beard. But Pete, we're also going to show off a few other projects that we can show off, right, Pete? From the
Yeah, what do you want to see?
well, we have a bunch of different card templates. I think there's a couple other ones that we could not find the old demos for. We thought we had them in a big box of demos, but we don't.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a screen share to show a couple other activities as well that aren't Patrick Stewart related.
I have one here. Let's see if this works.
Let's see if we can do the screen share. Paper shamrock. This was a fun one that we put together quite a while ago. As just a simple, oh, there, I'm moving over. There I am. Scroll down, Pete. Do we have there we go. Can you make that large too, Pete? Make the shamrock large.
Make this.
If you click on the shamrock picture in the top left corner,
Yeah, yeah. See if that's-
click on that shamrock. There we go.
Yeah.
Big shamrock. So this is just a very simple, it's just a single ribbon you're gluing together and with an LED in the middle. Pretty simple, but a little bit different as a three-dimensional card or craft goes than some of the other stuff that we've done. Also extremely simple as well. So if you want to say make an embellishment for your classroom, this is easy to do. Now, here's the fun thing too, you want to have Valentine's Day come around sooner than, for you. You could say use red ribbon and you'd have 3 hearts together. That's right. 3 hearts became a shamrock. But it's not too crazy of a project to put together using just green construction paper. So that's a pretty easy one. I know we have some other cards too, Pete. We have the couple other shamrock cards. We have tons and tons and tons of cards we put together. Oh, that's our Nasco Education put together like super cheesy one. That is pretty cheesy, but also very appropriate for a 4th or 5th grade classroom. That's the one I was looking for from our designs in our big old box of projects. But just a very simple thing, you can have the, say, 4th or 5th graders color, then add an LED to their pot of gold at the end of the rainbow while they eat Lucky Charms. So it's a very simple template. And again, adding stuff in there on their own, changing the graphic up on the front, that's very easy to do with the template we have. So I think we have one more, which is like 3 shamrocks.
Yeah, there's one. Well, there's the Lucky Charm.
Oh, should we do my least favorite one? That one?
Is this one?
Yeah, that's my least favorite. There we go. We did a BB-8 with a shamrock. It's my least favorite.
The older template.
These are much older templates. They're a few years old. Back when Star Wars was back when we were really excited about the new Star Wars movies, we were like, wow, new Star Wars movies, and then our enthusiasm waned over 3 years and 3 films. Just my blood pressure is going
Why
up.
isn't there a box of cereal here instead?
We thought that Disney would be less litigious than General Mills.
Cereal?
So anywho, I think there should be one more we wanted to show off. It's 3 shamrock. There we go. Wish me my luck card. It's the shamrocks floating in the air. There we go. That's the one I was thinking of. Because somebody actually on Twitter today posted this project up on Twitter as a, hey, we made this brown dog gadgets template. And so we were very happy about that. But that's a pretty nice one where it's just a very simple card, but adding some extra embellishments with construction paper on top is super easy to do. Things that make it look a little more fun than just a standard LED on a card, which does get kind of old hat after a while. I would know, I've done so many of them over the years. So we try to do some different things. And so adding a little extra embellishments to there. And again, with paper circuits, you can go very simple and go very, very, very complex. And most of our customers, most people we work with or get phone calls from are in that 4th to 8th grade age range for this kind of stuff. So looking for fun arts and crafts activities that are easy to implement and within their like a budget level project. And these really work as nice budget level projects. So we're gonna switch on over back to the overhead camera now. Yay, things we could find. No, St. Patrick Stewart. So we got this wonderful, wonderful template. Again, Patrick Stewart. I'm gonna zoom in, Pete.
Go for it.
Whoa, zoom. So very standard card template. You can print this off. On the back side, we have a very simple circuit. We've got ourselves a battery holder over here we put together. We've got a gap in and our circuit right here, which corresponds with a line right here to make a very simple on and off switch. So you can press together, turn on, or you can just leave it on all the time and your battery would drain within a couple days. Green LEDs, what, a couple days, right, Pete? Maybe
at least a
couple days. Green LEDs tend to last quite a while. Of course, a spot for one single solitary LED. Now, as always, folks, we highly recommend you use at least 30-pound cardstock for all of your paper circuits projects, mostly because it's thick enough that it's easy to work with, but yet not so thick it gets jammed in your printer, because over 30 pounds, they start getting jammed in your printers at school. So don't do that. So we have this, pretty straightforward. I'm gonna put it aside, because Pete already cut one out for me, because he's such a cool guy. Pete, thanks.
Right.
Wow, so we're gonna grab our supplies.
Oh, you might need
A safety pin.
safety pin.
Also, I probably need maker tape, which for some reason I did not grab to put in front of me. It's one of those days. Oh, thanks, Pete. No. So I'm gonna grab a safety pin right here. It is literally one of those days. We're gonna grab a safety pin because we're using some heavier cardstock, so because it looks better on camera and prints off better on our printer. It doesn't work so well with LED legs. Most like 30-pound cardstock or less, especially printer paper, you can just right through there and you're A-okay. You just have tons of our tape over here. Oh, Pete, I found some. There we go, tape. So I'm gonna pop this through. We do a lot of workshops lately, so our table here is a mess. And now we have cards all over the floor trying to find other demos. There we go. Thanks, Pete. Poor Pete, he has to come in every day and deal with this. Now we're gonna use a green LED. Now we're using a little 5mm LED. Typically we use the bigger 10mm LEDs. Oh yes, they come in different sizes. 10mm describes the diameter of your LED. 10mm is gumdrop sized, which we like. They're way more interesting. We're gonna use this guy because it works better in the little St. Patrick's shamrock we have. LEDs, whenever you can, just get the big ones. Never have to buy LEDs from anywhere, get the big ones, don't get the small ones. Never buy 3mm, they're so small. They're smaller than this. Nobody wants to deal with that. It's actually harder for kids to manipulate as well because of their physical size being smaller.
Easier to swallow too.
Easier to swallow too. Although, if you're doing this kind of project with students, you should make sure that they are old enough not to swallow things, because that would be bad for everybody involved, especially because we're using a coin cell battery, Pete, which are bad to swallow. But so, hey, LEDs, they've got two legs. What do the two legs mean, Pete? If we only had a graphic to describe that emotion. There we go. We'll get it matched up here. There we go. So long leg is positive, the short leg is negative. You can find that out easily enough by asking the short leg, how's your day going? If the answer back is rather mean, it's the negative leg. That joke brought to you today by sleep deprivation and a toddler at home. Anyway, so we have things marked off right here on the bottom. I have a toddler at home. He's up a lot at night these days. It actually says short leg here, long leg here. We just make sure it goes through there. If for some reason the student puts their LED in backwards, that's no harm, no foul, because you can just flop the battery over as well, switch the end polarity. So then bend the legs off to the side. Ta-da! There you go. So we're going to start with the negative side here of things, and we'll show you how we do a really cool way of making a battery holder out of nowhere, which is really handy. So I'm going to grab my trusty pair of scissors to then lay some tape down. Oh, thank you, Pete, for that scissor graphic, which you have surprised me today with, amongst many other fun graphics. Wow, Pete. We're going to start here in the middle of our battery, like so, like any good project. By the way, you can use this approach to put a battery holder literally anywhere in the world around you. Shirt, window, wall. The tape loop approach, yeah. Yes, it's something we Brown Towel Gadgets have uniquely developed. I have to say, I didn't see anybody else using it until we started doing it, so I'm just going to claim it's ours. You can do this, put it on a wall, put it on a window, put it on a whiteboard. It works everywhere, which is fantastic for paper circuits, because I like when you can have kids make a kind of circuit like this literally anywhere, on a wall or a window, especially. Have some kids decorate things up for your classroom. So, got our little extra piece of tape. We're going to roll this into a ball, a little loop, if you will. We're going to stick that on top of the existing tape we have there already. Now, our awesome nylon conductive tape, Maker Tape is the official name, is conductive on top and bottom. So we can just put this little sticky roll of tape on top of our other first line of tape here, put a battery on top, we've made a strong electrical connection that won't fall off. Oh yes, it lasts forever. Our other card here we made a year ago and everything still works just fine on it. We actually replaced the battery a couple weeks ago for another demo and it works just a-okay, replacing the battery on that, so yay. So then we have this, yay, tape loop approach. We're gonna then start from this other spot here, making sure there's a gap. Now you don't have to leave a gap, you can do other switches. In fact, Pete, we've made a bunch of different extra switches and switch templates that we have documented and have in some of our lesson plans and curriculum that we've made.
Yeah.
Pete designed several fun switches and switch templates. So you can just not only make a fun card, you can also use it as a fun learning tool to learn about switches. There you go. Now again, a tape is conducted on top and bottom, so we just put this over the tape leg, press down a little bit to make sure things were secure. Then we're gonna move on. Now, oh no, Pete, I'm gonna run out of tape here.
Oh, that's not a concern, Josh.
Oh, Pete, I can see, yes, you're not concerned at all because you know why. Well, I can't say within the guidelines, can I? We can just overlap our tape and we have a strong connection thanks to the wonders of Maker Tape.
Maker tape. From the makers of Maker tape.
From the makers of other fun things.
Yeah.
The Brown Dog Gadgets paper circuits kits found at nascoeducation.com. Yes, they have them both small and classroom size. Nasco Education, your place for everything from frogs in a bucket to paper circuits. I say that lovingly because I've seen their fun. I've been to their factory before here in Wisconsin, their warehouse, and they do a lot of fun, like biological stuff that I miss doing in a classroom because my wife would give me a weird look if I brought home like a bunch of frogs and formaldehyde or other fun things. Not that I haven't before from teaching conferences. She puts up with a lot, and that is not one of them. So there we go. So we have one last thing to do here to make this connection. We're gonna cut another little piece of tape. Yay. And we can put that right here, and that's gonna finish our little, way too much tape, but yay. Ta-da. And now you can make it so. Now, Pete, let's say you're not a crafty card person, you're more of a crafty soft circuitry person.
Okay.
You could take this wonderful maker tape and this basic template and this basic idea, turn into a fun St. Patrick's Day wearable.
Ooh.
That's right. See, our maker tape also works very well on fabric shirts, cheap felt you buy at the Michael's Craft Store or your Amazons. Or I imagine Nasco has some really great deals on felt as well. I've never looked, but I have to imagine they do because they have everything there at nascoeducation.com. So you can do that and make a fun light up bracelet for St. Patrick's Day using this tape, an LED, and a battery in much the same format as this, which we have a fun template for. And it used to have one physically within reach, but it's all the way over there now, so I can't grab it. But that's another fun one to do for St. Patrick's Day, because again, you can add nice fun embellishments. It's a fairly silly holiday, so making something you can wear. You know why, Pete? Because you want to wear something green on St. Patrick's Day, right?
Oh, like that.
Like that. You just do this out of green, or I guess there's green on there too. Like the Christmas tree is a little out of season. Maybe it's a spring tree, a spring evergreen, because they're coming back up. No, you could make the thing you're wearing is green by doing this kind of project right here. Thanks, Pete, for that wonderful graphic. You're so awesome, Pete. Thank you. Thank you for being you. But that's another good activity to do as well. Very inexpensive. It costs basically the same cost as this, plus a piece of felt using these exact same materials to make that wearable green thing.
So yeah, here's like.
Oh, there's a template too.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun and easy project. I know we've done that before, but I always like to bring it up just because it's so simple and it's a project that people haven't seen. Usually people use conductive thread, which is great, but it requires sewing, which makes it way more difficult and ups the price quite a bit as well. But so doing this out of the conductive tape with fabric is the exact same activity, and then just embellish it with fun things. You're now wearing something green that lights up, so nobody will have to, is it pinching you if you're not wearing green?
I think it is.
Seems inappropriate for the workplace, Pete. I'm
You just do that at home, not at work.
It's inappropriate for my house too. Nobody would put up with that at my house. I would, but not my Springer Spaniel. He's not green, he's brown. No pinching dogs. So anyway, that's another good activity to do as well for St. Patrick's Day. And because when it comes to the weird holidays, we get lots of phone calls from people saying, what can I do on this weird holiday? And St. Patrick's Day is kind of a weird holiday, just because unless you're an adult and can do other adulty things, St. Patrick's Day is really just, it's a fun card or a light up thing or pinching you if you're green. So those are a couple of fun activities you can do that are about $2 or less per child worth of materials and will kill a class period if you need to kill a class period, but also all work well remotely and are a great little circuitry learning tool as well. Simple circuit, simple switch. And more than one LED, you've got a parallel circuit. Oh yes, parallel. Anyway, that's the gist of things. It's now 24 after. That's been your wonderful time update. So if you have any questions, we always try to end about 25 after, so a couple of minutes early. But if you have any questions, please let us know right now. These kits do come in smaller sizes, a small individual set, as well as large classroom set. Nasco Education does have a fun distance learning specialty STEM bag, actually two of them, a small one and a larger one from us here at Brown Dog Gadgets, Nasco Education. Those have been really nice for distance learning with a lot of different school districts, and also well if you're doing some distance learning things this summer to try to catch kids back up. I know with the most recent stimulus package, there's a lot of money for schools to do distance learning or catch up activities with their students, basically get everybody back up to date on stuff. So if looking to burn some money, we can do a bunch of fun circuitry stuff with a very small bag full of stuff. Thanks, Pete, for that burning conductive tape roll. Yeah. But that's a good thing to do because a lot of our STEM bags, we can do 2 or 3 weeks worth of lessons off that one bag worth of material for a wide variety of circuitry stuff. Basically, all the circuitry things you'd want to do and a bunch of fun activities as well. So 4th, 5th, 6th grade, middle school, even up into high school for some of the higher end circuitry activities that we have. And you can make too, my favorite project ever, the angriest Dixie cup in the world. With a self-sticking vibrating motor and a battery, this angry Dixie cup just vibrates around the table. Usually. I think I need more tape on this guy. Anyway, cool beans. Any questions, people out there? If not, I'm sure Jordan has some fun information to tell you.
All right. Well, I'm looking at the questions right now. I did want to mention that I did send a couple of the links for the classroom conductive tape kit, small group conductive tape kit in the chat box. I also put in there for the 1/4 inch wide roll maker tape because that's what they're currently using. There's 2 different sizes. There's a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch. You want to show the difference there, Josh? If you have an example.
I do. I'll break this one open. They're literally the exact same thing, just the exact same tape. Just one is a 1/4 inch width and one is an 1/8 inch width. There we go. We actually have the 1/4 inch in all of our kits that we have, including the kits for the STEM bags from Nasco. For the older kids, the 1/8 inch, they'll have no problem. Really, if you're above like 8th grade on up, no problem. It's still extremely strong. I like using the 1/4 inch for the younger kids because that's literally impossible for them to break by hand. They have to use a pair of scissors to cut it, which means they're less likely to have issues. One of my biggest issues with copper foil is it breaks so easily. You can't. And if you're on like a hard surface or like this table here, it'll peel off really easily when you're done too, or a whiteboard or a window or blackboard, it peels off. You can throw it away, easy cleanup. But the 1/8 inch stuff does work well for older people. I think here in our office, we do like little demo projects for ourselves, fun things for ourselves in our office, or just trying stuff out to see if it'll work or not. We use the 1/8 inch tape because it gives a little more wiggle room for making more complicated things. We make super complicated, weird things, which we never make a project out of because they're too complicated and weird. We use this tape. But yeah, it's just as conductive. You'll see no issues with it. And we use this a lot with microbits and Arduinos. And things like Makey's even work really well with this. So.
All right. Well, we got a couple compliments in the chat box thanking us for doing the show. Definitely appreciate it. Also wanted to make sure to mention that the next webinar that we're going to be doing is March 31st. That's going to be right before April Fools. So we're going to have some interesting projects that I think we can utilize for that kind of day. I know Josh is thinking there what we could do.
I was just thinking, like, we've been kicking around a few projects, Jordan. We'll have to make something special just for Jordan. Like April Fools
for sure.
Project. I think maybe we should Pete's like nodding like yes, we can do something Jordan specific for that. So be prepared to have a fun Jordan centric episode next week. I'll have to work really hard on that.
Okay. I look forward to that, Josh. Thank you. I'm not seeing any other
No?
questions that are coming through, but I did want to thank everybody for their time today and joining us. Thank you for presenting, Josh. My name is Jordan Nelson. I'm one of the customer engagement managers with Nasco. I was your host today. If you do have any other questions that perhaps maybe you want to ask afterwards, or maybe after you watch the recording, you can certainly reach out to me at engage@nascoeducation.com. And then also make sure to reminder to fill out that feedback and the survey at the very end. We did have, we are starting to get some questions. Also a reminder for our social media tags, if you do or would like to have some of that, I can get that on there. Yep, see those in front of you. I do have some handouts that I'm going to be putting into the handout section on the webinar control panel very shortly here, because then you can see all the different templates that we just covered today. And so make sure to download those if you, for whatever reason, if you're watching a recording of this or you don't get access to those, make sure to follow up with me as well, and I'll make sure to send those to you. Yes, can you please send me some information so I can go over it with my principal? Absolutely, I absolutely could, not a problem. And then I also see some thank yous for ideas for science class, which is great. Yep, incorporating STEM for sure. Definitely have some bristlebot there that you were talking about with the motor there. We have a lot of variety of different projects like there. Done plenty of different webinars on that as well. If you have any other questions, like I said, feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. We look forward to maybe seeing you at our next episode on March 31st. Take care, everybody.
Bye. It's one really energetic bristlebot, Pete.